been slain.
Now they know because of dragon. No.
Enemy rampage.
Oh, of course they're not gonna stay to push. You know better.
Slain an enemy.
Got one. And nice to have Ezreal. 550 down. Maybe we could kill Ezreal on the way back. Should have waited actually. We know where Echo is. It's Thresh. This is already back.
An ally has been slain.
Could have flashed. I think he had E though. Even after ult. Had enough distance. He's got no ult. Recalling.
Ally has been slain.
That's the real one, yeah.
An enemy has been slain.
I wonder if he pinked in here. Oop. My pink, not my problem. Nice. Ooh.
An ally has been slain.
What? That is all. But yeah, they got a pink, but we could still try and make something happen. 2 pinks, jeez.
An enemy has been slain.
We're gonna shut down Ezreal one more time on his way back to lane. Why do we want that? Headbutt him to me, buddy. Headbutt him. Send him over. Rover, Red Rover. Oh, dude.
Has been slain.
Wonder if Ezreal saw me there. I think we can still probably get him. Got 10 seconds on ult. Nice, double shutdown. Ouch. Echo's gonna kill me if I do go for that. I don't know. I think I'll go first.
Shut down.
Nope. We don't need that. We need maybe some move speed. Okay, Dragon hurts. He's not healthy enough to do that. Need some tanks.
Turret plating will soon fall.
What the heck is he doing? At the people. Is it as recall in Dragon Pit? Hmm. Oh no, dude. It's close. Oh no, oh no. They're gonna try to take the scuttle now. Yeah? LV is gonna hard shove if she sees Triss top. There it is. Easy jump though. Got one down there. Probably get him with the smite. Ah, close. Didn't quite get him in time.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
This way, dude. Oh no.
Enemy killing spree. Enemy killing spree.
Is that even worth it?
Has been destroyed.
Ooh. Nice. Even okay. Oh, he flashed for it. Whatever. Take that. A shield. Nice, Ellie. Wow. Really not the one. Oh, that was aggressive.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
As long as they keep a few dead, we can take dragon. Oh no. Nope. I didn't quite get in the bush in time either. Nice. Alright, let's take dragon now.
Shut down.
Woo. Nice. this, which is 142. You could probably kill a Thresh as being pretty ballsy. Maybe we don't want this. Oh, we should have just gone home, honestly. Nope, 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 nope. Nice, we killed him there. Him too with the good alley. Wait, I guess they're all there. That's her. Oh. Almost after the flower. They can finish him though, he's ult. Oh, Triss, no, because if she got the bounce jump recall from killing that guy, she could have jumped over the edge, killed that guy too. Nice. Really?
Only infer information about Barry's thoughts using his positions revealed in the 13F, we will probably never know Barry's reasoning behind The Big Short unless he chooses to disclose it publicly, or maybe we're blessed with another movie. This Tesla bet jumps out to me specifically considering the rest of the portfolio is extremely bullish on other big high-flying tech names. Scion also owns 160 million in call premium, equivalent to 80,000 shares of Google, or Alphabet as they're officially known, and 550,000 shares of Facebook, suggesting that while he's bearish on the electric car maker, he's extremely bullish on FANG giants. But all of this is not the reason you clicked on the video. If you remember back in February, Dr. Michael Berry had some shocking tweets, basically saying that the United States was headed down a path towards hyperinflation. He literally told us that the US will soon resemble the Weimar Republic, the infamous German state that devalued its currency to essentially zero, starving its citizens of all their savings and ruining a thriving economy. Apparently, the SEC got involved and Berry was supposedly told to delete his Twitter and to stop inciting market panic. But did he put his money where his mouth is? If he was warning us about the incoming inflation wave, how did he prepare to profit from it? What were his positions? Well, it's no surprise that he put nearly $241 million at work trying to position his firm for a surge in inflation by purchasing various puts and calls on some interesting financial instruments. I wasn't going to bore you with the details, but considering the fact that I'm likely going to copy his exact moves, I've changed my mind. I'm going to bore you with the details, going over each one of his so-called hyperinflation positions, specifically 5 different moves that will surely pay off the same way that his housing bet paid off in 2008. So here we go. The first is the biggest portion, representing $171 million, a put on the TLT 20+ year TSY bond ETF. This may sound extremely complicated, but the reasoning and the move itself are pretty simple to anyone with exposure to options or ETFs in general. And representing $171 million, a put on the TLT 20+ year TSY bond ETF. This may sound extremely complicated, but the reasoning and the move itself are pretty simple to anyone with exposure to options or ETFs in general. What Berry is doing here is betting that the iShares 20-year Treasury bond ETF is going to go down in price. This financial product is meant to give people exposure to long-term US Treasury bonds, and if you paid attention to your finance class, you would know that when interest rates rise, bond prices fall. So in essence, Barry is betting that inflation will get so bad that the Federal Reserve will be forced to raise interest rates. This will in turn cause bond prices to collapse and his put positions to profit. In its most simple form, Scion Capital is betting that the interest rates will rise. Now the second portion of his inflation bet. This part is actually made up of 4 different positions, but to make things a little more simple and to cut down on time, I will group all these into what I call the call portion of his inflation bet. For an example, the TTT, which is a leverage product that seeks to replicate the inverse minus 3x daily performance of the ICE US Treasury 20+ year bond index. Now that sounds like rocket science, but in simple terms, this ETF is an extremely leveraged product that will go up in price significantly if interest rates rise. The same could be said with the other 3 positions I talked about earlier. The differences are rather minor. But the problem with these is that they're leveraged ETFs. We're told as retail investors that these products are not created to be held more than 1 trading day. So what is Barry and Scion Capital doing betting millions in long-term positions on these products? To make matters worse, they're derivatives or option positions on these ETFs, which are essentially derivatives themselves. This is taking an extremely risky product, then multiplying that risk by buying options on it. It seems to me that under normal circumstances, a move like this would end up on the front page of Wall Street Bets. It's gambling on steroids. But given the nature of his tweets in February, it seems to me that Barry strongly believes that the Fed will be forced to move interest rates up, and might be why he's risking a significant amount of his portfolio into options on leveraged bond ETFs. This 13F filing is a clue right to everyone's face, and I'm not sure why it's not getting more attention. Barry has been right about the housing market, about GameStop, about Tesla, and I'm not one to think that he will be wrong about this. Look around, inflation is eating away the standard of living everywhere, and if Jerome Powell expects to save America from a situation like Venezuela, or Argentina, or Lebanon, there's only one thing left to do. His tool belt is pretty limited, and if he chooses to save the country, well, me, you, and Michael Barry will make lots of money, because I too have bought significant amounts of calls on the TBT. So if you're joining along, please make sure you do further research. The last thing I want is someone pouring their life savings into short-term options on thinly traded inverse and leveraged ETFs. If that's not gambling on steroids, then I don't know what is. My reasoning is relatively simple. Referencing Barry's tweets from February, you can find a ton of info on his rather apocalyptic line of thinking that got him on the SEC radar. His tweets are now all deleted, including his account, but there is a great website that archived all of them for our viewing pleasure and research. I will link that site in the description below, and you guys can dig through some of his thoughts, now explained by his massive positions that were revealed in his 13F. Thank you guys for watching, and please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying my content.
In July of 2006, Elon Musk provided two of his cousins, Peter and Lyndon Reed, with $10 million in startup capital to create a solar energy installation company. Then he assigned himself as chairman of the board of that company with 22% of available shares. By December of 2012, SolarCity had enough of a market share to warrant an $8 IPO on the Nasdaq, and in just 13 months the share price hit a record high of $88.35. A decade after incorporation, Musk and his cousins then sold SolarCity to Tesla for a $6 billion combination of Tesla stock and debt acquisition, with SolarCity shares closing at only $20.36 on their last day of trading, November 18, 2016, down 78% from their all-time high. This presentation is going to dissect that transaction and demonstrate exactly what Musk sold shareholders of his only remaining publicly traded company, which itself was also apparently on the verge of bankruptcy. There are three tangents we're going to touch on over the course of this multi-part episode, which all demonstrate just how intertwined all of Musk's grand ventures are, which rarely, if ever, benefit Tesla shareholders or anybody other than Musk. All information referred to in this episode is cited by the website where the information was discovered. Viewers can verify information at their own convenience by searching for the quotes on the source shown. And although this is a very long episode, we encourage everybody to watch it all the way through and each part, because we believe that this scenario is very indicative of every company Musk is involved with. According to Wikipedia, SolarCity was founded July 4, 2006, with Musk as chairman, Peter Reeve as CEO, and Lyndon Reeve as CTO, Chief of Technology. The new company grew quickly, and in just 3 years, SolarCity installations were already generating 440 megawatts of power, roughly equivalent to the Tomsock Hydroelectric Dam in Missouri. In its heyday, the company was considered to be one of the top solar installation companies in North America. This was despite offering no clear solar technological advantage compared to other players in the same space. The MIT Technology Review, in fact, described their business model as simply a better way to use existing technology. All their panel technology was either purchased from other suppliers or acquired from other companies bought out by SolarCity, rather than developed in-house prior to 2017. Companies such as REC Group, Trina Solar, and Canadian Solar provided the lion's share of the components that SolarCity installed, with additional sourcing from LG and Hanwha Q cells in 2016. Even the Powerwalls that were unveiled by Tesla in June 2015 as a storage solution for solar arrays had to be purchased at retail from Tesla, who had developed the product independently. SolarCity started buying up competitors such as Clean Currents and Grow Solar in 2011, then Paramount Solar in 2013, spreading their operations to the East Coast and doubling their energy production to 870 megawatts by 2015, accounting for 28% of non-utility domestic solar energy production nationwide. On December 14, 2012, SolarCity was listed on the Nasdaq under the symbol SCTY, with an IPO price of $8, which shot up to $13 in pre-trading to close at $11.72 on the first day of trading, then dropped down to a record low of $10.11 a week later, before recovering and starting an upward trend. Another hyped-up Musk bandwagon for people to buy into to make their millions. In October 2014, despite their shares trading in the mid-50s, SolarCity needed to issue the first ever solar bonds to raise operating capital through their new website, and SpaceX bought $90 million of the $200 million in bonds on offer. SpaceX would go on to buy over $250 million in SolarCity bonds by the spring of 2016, using money it really had no business using for this purpose. And that brings us to our first tangent. A bit of SpaceX backstory here, taken from the Wikipedia entry for NASA's Commercial Crew Development Award. In 2011, SpaceX was selected by NASA to be part of their Commercial Crew Development Program competition and awarded $75 million in the second round of the competition to develop a crewed version of their Dragon capsule with a human-rated Dragon launch vehicle. Another $440 million was awarded to them in the August of 2012. In the final round, announced September 2014, SpaceX was awarded another $2.6 billion towards the development of Crew Dragon. But instead, Musk took a combined $255 million of taxpayers' money and sunk it into Solar City bonds over the course of the next 21 months. It bears noting that SpaceX was contracted to produce prototypes of this human-rated craft by 2016, with test flights beginning in 2017, but the Crew Dragon did not wind up flying astronauts to the ISS until 2020. The first in-flight abort test was originally scheduled for July of 2015, and that didn't happen until January 19, 2020, almost 5 years behind schedule. One of the biggest delays SpaceX faced was due to the Falcon 9 explosion on the SLC-40 pad in September of 2016. That incident destroyed the vehicle, the pad itself, and the $244 million satellite owned by Facebook, designed to beam high-speed internet into Africa. The loss of that satellite set Facebook back at least 4 years, while SpaceX went on to launch their Starlink constellation. Now, if there are any conspiracy theorists here, this is the timeline to question. Facebook and Eutelsat started developing their Amos 6 satellite in the June of 2012. 6 months later, SpaceX is selected as the launch provider. 2 years later, Musk announces
Yeah, I can't
Starlink,
finish
seemingly
things
out
out.
of nowhere.
Just getting next
The
one.
following year, Facebook's $244 million satellite is destroyed in an explosion on the launch pad. 17 months later, Musk starts launching Starlink satellite. In September of 2020, Facebook finally managed to develop and launch another prototype satellite, and they chose France's Arianespace, not SpaceX, as their launch provider. Also, one has to wonder if the $255 million worth of NASA's money had stayed in the Crew Dragon program, whether or not SpaceX could have delivered their human-rated vehicles on time, thereby saving NASA from spending billions more dollars buying seats on the Russian Soyuz craft to deliver U.S. astronauts to the ISS. Since the beginning of 2016, 20 American astronauts have had to buy tickets on Soyuz vehicles, mainly on the Soyuz MS, for an average cost of $81 million per seat, and that's over $1.6 billion extra dollars NASA had to fork out because SpaceX didn't stick to their schedule. That cost is rising to $90 million per seat for upcoming launches, and it is conceivable that SpaceX's investment in Solar City played a part in these delays. So did Musk's preoccupation with his newest toy at the time, his intercolonial transport, now known as Starship, for which Musk was publicly called out in 2019 by NASA boss Jim Bridenstine, who was getting fed up hearing about Starship while SpaceX had thus far failed to deliver the Crew Dragon. Time to get back to the main story here, but maybe now you'll understand a little better when we tell you we've gone down the rabbit hole when we start digging a little deeper in the story. Back to Solar City, and despite being heralded as one of the top solar companies in the world, Solar City had apparently been hemorrhaging cash for most of the time it was in business. The company's 10K filing from the company's height in 2015 even told readers the trouble the company was in. To save this failing company, Musk announced in June of 2016 that Tesla would be buying Solar City for a premium of 21 to 30% on their share price. According to the Buffalo News, Solar City's debt had grown from $48 million at the end of 2011 to $3.4 billion as of their publication date of November 15, 2016, just days before the shareholders were to vote on the acquisition. Rather than recusing himself with regards to the shareholder vote as he declared he had done, Musk was leading the charge for this deal to happen, declaring it a no-brainer in multiple interviews. To hear Musk talk about the company, he would have you believe it was a tremendous success, and they were about to release a brand new product that was going to change the world to corner the residential solar installation market. See, for whatever reason, Musk seems to have an almost pathological need to completely exaggerate what his companies are doing, making outlandish claims or promoting ridiculous concepts that deny logic and reason. We already have over a dozen videos on this channel that have just started to scratch that surface. Our episode on Neuralink illustrates this perfectly. There are apparently dozens of PhDs and technologists at Neuralink working on a brain mapping interface that hopes to connect the minds of amputees to the mechanics of their motorized prosthetic. But Musk feels the need to lie and tell the world you can use it for telepathy, playing video games in your head, to learn skills by downloading them to your brain, and then to transfer your soul to a younger body. This type of deception also happened at Solar City. The company installed rooftop solar components from other manufacturers like every
Oh
other
no,
solar
that would have been
installer
it
out there.
too.
But Musk had to promise shareholders a revolutionary roofing tile system that would corner the residential solar market to seal the deal. In the week prior to his shareholder vote, Musk orchestrated the unveiling of a brand new product line for Solar City, the Solar Rooftop. He brought a gallery of spectators and cameras to the set of Desperate Housewives, and with great fanfare proudly told everyone in attendance that these houses were now solar-powered using these new devices.
There you go.
The panels looked just like normal roofing materials because, in effect, that's all they were. Despite Musk's claim to the contrary, none of these roofs were functional, and every tile was a
I'm
non-functional
6,
top.
which means Fiddles is 6.
The biggest
too.
issue surrounding the
Gotta
claim
watch out
wasn't
for
that these tiles didn't work, and have never worked. No, the issue was Musk promised they did work while he was convincing his Tesla shareholders to acquire this company. This was an orchestrated deception. Green Tech Media's Jillian Spector wrote a retrospective on these devices, describing the ongoing issues with this failed promise, and reminded us that, to date, no other company has pulled off a solar shingle tile. See, what shareholders probably didn't realize while they listened to Musk's unscrupulous showman performance is that many other companies had tried to make this device a reality, and they all failed. Surprise, surprise, Musk didn't come up with this idea. Original patents for integrated solar roofing shingles go back to the 1970s. This particular patent is dated 1977, and did you notice who the patent holder was? NASA. The US government, through NASA, filed a patent for a solar rooftop shingle design on August 24, 1976. Many others tried the solar shingle concept and failed. For example, BeamReach, formerly Solexel, burned through $250 million in funding and grants trying to develop the concept before going bankrupt in 2017. Probably the biggest player who tried the solar shingle space was Dow, with its powerhouse line of products dating back to 2009. It was named as one of Time magazine's best inventions of 2009, despite the fact Dow didn't invent the idea. The company believed it would be a $10 billion cash cow by 2020, but the product never lived up to expectations, including cost effectiveness. Reportedly, only 1,000 Dow powerhouse groups were ever installed, and the product line was abandoned in June of 2016. In 2017, one of the original American long-standing solar companies called RGS licensed the Dow product to produce Powerhouse 3.0 tiles. They had been pioneers in the solar industry since 1977, but 3 years after taking on solar shingle licenses, they declared bankruptcy after 42 years in business. Solexel couldn't do it, Dow couldn't do it, RGS couldn't do it. In fact, in mid-August of 2016, Greentech Media's Eric Wesoff wrote an article addressed directly to Musk and the brothers Reeve, showing them many other companies on record at the time as having gone bankrupt or suffered terribly at the hands of attempting similar alternative solar products. And still, Musk somehow convinced his shareholders during his October 28, 2016 live product reveal on the set of Desperate Housewives that Solar City had figured it all out. Little did they know that the shingles they were being shown were useless, non-functional products. On November 17, 2016, enough of the Tesla shareholders bought Musk's deceptive sales pitch and voted under that blanket of deception to pay billions of dollars for an almost worthless company and its additional billions of dollars in debt. But that vote was far from unanimous.
Oh no, she's like flash.
After the acquisition, shareholders likely
It just
expected that
seems
the
to
Solar
close
City
the gap.
assets would be reorganized into a well-oiled machine that would be ramping up to make good on the promises made to them by their own chairman and CEO. But the exact opposite happened. In fact, according to thefool.com, 6 months after the acquisition, Tesla energy products had not yet shown up in Tesla storefronts. The same article reports how Tesla had pulled the plug on its door-to-door sales program, and the follow-up article in the Billings Gazette described the company's current condition as
They got them
gutted.
down.
See, this was
Nice.
around the same time Tesla was having a lot of trouble making good on several promises relating to their Model 3. So what Musk did was he moved key people from Solar City, now called Tesla Energy, over to the automotive side of the company to address those problems. This is not speculation, this is now sworn testimony provided by Musk himself, who also testified that Model 3 milestones weren't being met and Tesla was in danger of going under. So Musk gutted Solar City's personnel as he saw fit, leaving the already struggling solar division to their own devices. And then Musk started taking those away as well. If there was any doubt at all that Tesla Energy was in trouble, June 2018 put those doubts to rest. This was the day Tesla cut 9% of its entire workforce. Most of the 4,100 people affected were salaried employees. The same day, it was announced that Tesla would be pulling out their proprietary kiosks from the 800 Home Depot stores and canceling their arrangement with the only major retailer carrying their products. 10 days later, Tesla closed the first dozen of their solar installation centers, including some in California, where a mandate for new homes to be equipped with renewable energy was already in the works. This was even worse in October of 2017, where a previous round of layoffs and blindside firings took an estimated 1,200 employees off the Tesla payroll, including many from Solar City, as the once unstoppable solar segment lost any market advantage it once held. Q3 2017 solar installations dropped 42% year over year to 109 megawatts, with only 87 megawatts in Q4 2017. These 2017 layoffs were right around the same time disaster hit Puerto Rico, and Musk saw this unfolding situation as an opportunity to use the crisis to his advantage. Let us tell you how well that worked out with our second tangent. On September 6, 2017, a
I
Category
should've
5
shared it.
hurricane named Irma slammed the Leeward Islands to the east of Puerto Rico and carved a trail of destruction across the main island. This storm plunged 1 million people into darkness as the aging electrical infrastructure was decimated in the storm. All told, Irma was responsible for around $50 billion in damage. On September 20th, 2017, Cat 5 Hurricane Maria hit the island directly, blew weakened buildings apart, flooded much of the island, and destroyed what remained of their aging infrastructure and
Oh,
power
no.
grid. Damage estimate for Maria alone topped $90 billion, making it the worst storm in Puerto Rico's history. Post-storm estimates coming out of the area said it could take months or even years to get electricity back up and running. Musk saw an opportunity in this disaster to benefit his lagging solar company by offering to lend, not
Oh,
donate,
God.
solar
Okay.
systems and power walls to organizations in Puerto Rico to get the power back
Ballsy,
on.
dude.
October 6th, Electric was reporting Musk and the territory's governor, Ricardo Rossello, were in touch through Twitter regarding a possible plan of action. A week later, Tesla claimed to have deployed hundreds of
that's
technicians
bad.
to Puerto Rico
We're gonna get
equipped
ulted.
to install at 600 locations across the island.
Fiddle's
It would be
definitely
free
has
at
ult.
first, but would have to be paid for later. Unfortunately, Musk had no idea what he was sending his people into, and Daily Kos reported that the project itself was a disaster. As the Huffington Post reported in a follow-up article of May 11, 2019, here's what followed. Within months, most of the equipment Tesla sent down had fallen into disrepair, having never been used. One system that was connected to the Ciudad Dorada Senior Center immediately blew out the power packs when it was connected to the building. As a result, the system has never worked and still sits there, useless, as a large diesel generator burns through fuel to keep their lights on. They also installed a system for a water treatment facility that was never used and has since become a solar panel graveyard, overgrown and damaged by the wild horses that roam the island. And
Oh,
yet
no, I
another
should've
system
kicked
set
through
up
him.
at the Diquez
Oh,
Hospital
no,
was
we're fine.
abandoned since the hospital was condemned due to damage and mold. As Edgar Oscar Ruiz, a Puerto Rican activist for renewable energy on the islands, told the Huffington Post in 2019, Tesla came in with great intentions, but that's not enough. As of the writing of that article, the island of Diquez still relies on dirty power, and the solar equipment sits useless and broken. And as it turns out, their intentions weren't that great to begin with. It was all a PR stunt. The media was quick to give out the accolades, but very few news organizations bothered reporting Musk's failure to deliver,
Just a
which
little
has now
worried if
become a
Fiddle
pattern.
was here that he might.
Throughout 2018, although the Tesla Energy Storage division seemed to be on the rise, retrofit solar panel installations continued to drop, and in Q4 2018, they were down 21% from Q3, down 38% from the previous year, with a total of only 326 megawatts installed on the year. In February of 2019, in an effort to stem the bleeding and continued loss of market share, reports came out on Reuters that Tesla was dropping its showroom program in favor of a strictly online sales platform offering standardized solar packages, but obviously not solar roof tiles. As Frank Gillette, principal analyst at Forrester Research, accurately stated at the time, solar is now the stepchild at Tesla. They've made 2 decisions in a row that deal crippling blows to their solar business. As Tesla was shutting down many of its retail locations, there were 2 more rounds of layoffs, 8% in March of 2019, preceded by a 7% cut in workforce the previous February. These layoffs came on the heels of fourth quarter reports that solar sales had fallen off a cliff, going from a 33.5% market share in 2016 to just 9.1%. In the fourth quarter of 2018, they had installed a mere 73 megawatts of solar, compared to 272 megawatts in the fourth quarter of 2015, a 75% decline. And the most recent quarterly numbers from Tesla Energy would have salespeople jumping for joy to hit that number this year.
No.
Q2 2020 reports that the division had its worst quarter ever, dropping to a microscopic 27 megawatts. Perhaps the highly publicized fires in 2019 have something to do with this continued exodus.
Although our mid is missing, the Zach, yeah.
In August of 2019, news agencies were reporting that Walmart was taking Tesla Energy to court over a series of fires caused by commercial installations at 7 of their properties as of November 2018. Walmart went so far as to demand Tesla remove their equipment from all 244 stores that had been installed, cover all the cost of those removals, the loss of business, and the damage to property, citing gross negligence as the basis of their claim. In their filings, Walmart started doing their own diggings into the Tesla purchase of Solar City, citing gross negligence in their installations and in their maintenance. Amazon chimed in once the court battle became public knowledge, stating a Tesla Energy solar array caused a fire at their warehouse in Redlands, California in June of 2018, and that they would not be buying any more Tesla products as a result. As a point of interest, that same warehouse burned to the ground in June of 2020, and the cause of that fire has not yet been determined. Then residential customers started coming forward, saying how their Tesla arrays had caught fire and damaged or destroyed their homes. Brianna Greer was fortunate enough that a quick response by neighbors and the local fire department saved her house with minimal damage, but others, such as Ken Tomasello, were not as lucky. And while people were having their houses torched by their green energy devices, Tesla was about to watch a strategic partnership go up in smoke. And that's how we're going to start off part 2 of this presentation. Get up and stretch, grab a drink, and click the link when you are ready to go with part 2.
Has been slain.
Gotta watch out for pickles.
Double kill.
Definitely gonna be around. Oh, he just took this. Oh my god, he is around. There he is. Man of the hour. Nice. Let's get the fire drag. I don't have Shroud. This is gonna sleep.
Rampage. Dominating.
I'm gonna kill Fiddles if he comes for this. Now there's Fiddles. Now he's taking it. We got Senna as well. A little too many people. Too many. Dude. Up done.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. An ally has been slain.
Dang. Oof.
Slain.
Nice stun. Oh no. The Herald. Oh no. I feel like I had out of gen, honestly.
Down.
Do a vault soon.
An enemy has been slain. Destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Just get that W into this bush first, right? Right to be scared. They're gonna want the tower though, right, guys?
An ally
Want the
has
tower?
been slain. Enemy double kill.
They're really just going middle. Wow, I can't believe they're gonna give up the tower in order to go middle.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You have shut down money? No. Did you kill Senna on her way down? Actually, I got it from the tower. I was really happy. Just keep farming waves like that. Boring, man. Oh.
Slain. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Aced. An enemy has been slain. Double kill. You have been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Well,
Ally has been slain. Ally has been
Got one at least. Shut down. Well, that's about the game though.
Ally has been slain.
They don't have Jin though. Fiora, can Fiora end it? At 15 seconds. Actually, with Senna, they probably can, because Senna does a lot of damage to towers. Oh, and Fiora's got the mastery too.
Your turret has been destroyed. Fiora's gonna try to sneak it. I think they're gonna try to bait Baron if Fiora's. Oh, close. Slain.
This weak base got ults, I think we can still get him.
Aced. An ally has been slain.
Go check that one out before you continue. In Buffalo, New York, to produce PV cells and modules specifically for Solar City, an agreement Tesla Energy carried with them after the acquisition, which was a condition of the partnership in the first place. Since 2017, Panasonic has been manufacturing solar cells for the Solar City products at the Giga 2 facility. That building, owned by the state of New York and leased to Tesla for a mere $1 per year, began construction in 2014 and went $209 million over budget to take $950.6 million in taxpayer money built. Originally, this building was built to suit Tesla's tech that they had acquired when they bought Salivo in 2014, which obviously would have been changed up when Panasonic, a 30-year industry leader, came on board. As Tesla solar sales continued to nosedive, Panasonic found themselves sitting on manufactured stockpiles of components that Tesla had no need for. The only way Panasonic could recover their expenses was to sell these components to other buyers, mainly in the Philippines, Japan, and Malaysia. For their part, Tesla was cutting their costs by buying Chinese suppliers instead of their partner. By February of 2020, Panasonic had enough velocity referring to this partnership, and announced they were leaving Factory 2 to wind down by May of 2020. When the state agreed to these building and equipment provisions under the building program, it was in exchange for a guaranteed hiring credit made by Musk and Solar City. The agreement has reported on Wikipedia over 3,000 people being employed at the facility in Buffalo, with 5,000 jobs created statewide, resulting in $5 billion worth of economic activity. On the same page, Giga 2 reports only 1,500 people working at the facility, which is most likely from before Panasonic pulled their crews. If Musk is not honoring this hiring arrangement, Tesla will be required to pay $41 million fine annually until that commitment is paid on. To add insult to injury, with taxpayers marketing all the jobs they promised others in November 2019, they turned the building and equipment built Tesla's spec. They turned worth no more than $75 million, and 92% lost to the state. As a result, government is taking tremendous for wasteful nature of this project. The water project is project energy target and Nadu reports that this entire project was a scam, orchestrated by Musk and others to escalate Guardian. One more candidate talking about Factory 2, and this ties into another humanitarian crisis that Musk told media to ignore, and this has to do with COVID-19. We're not going to get into all the stupid tweets Musk made about the pandemic in general. They go back to March 2020. We're only going to remind people of the promises that they made. All of Musk's letters to the end of the point on New York post are called Musk is tactically the number one. That's the New York Post. It's a history article. As a result, these tweets, Musk was facing heavy backlash from the tweets on the disease and needed a quick PR spin to wind his way out of all the negative press. And it was handed to him on a silver platter by New York Mayor Bill de Blasio on March 19, 2020. New York was facing a critical shortage of invasive ventilators as ICU wards were being overwhelmed with pandemic patients. The stated plan was that Musk would reopen his locked-down Gigafactory 2 in Buffalo to produce these much-needed medical-grade devices for COVID epicenters in New York and California to begin with. By April 5th, on Tesla's own YouTube channel, they were showcasing engineers that told the viewers they were developing a prototype ventilator out of excess Tesla car parts. The video has since been viewed over 3 million times with around 143,000 likes and 2,200 dislikes, indicating only about 1.5% of people watching are aware that Tesla never actually delivered any of these units. Again, positive PR without ever delivering on the promise. On March 31st, Musk tweeted that he had extra FDA-approved ventilators ready for distribution, and the media swooned again. The problem was they didn't bother to check at the time what ventilators Musk had actually delivered. What he actually delivered were 5-year-old discontinued BiPAP machines from China that are used to treat nothing more than sleep apnea. He slapped the Tesla logo on the boxes and shipped those out thinking they were the same type of machine, but they're not even close. And that wasn't the promise he made to New York and California in return for reopening his factory, which likely continued making components for Tesla instead. For those people like Musk who don't know the difference, a CPAP, BPAP, or BiPAP machine consists of a facial mask that applies either constant or bi-level pressure air to the user, and they are generally used for the treatment of sleep apnea. An invasive ventilator is just that, invasive, a machine that takes over breathing functions for critically ill patients that requires intubation right down the patient's windpipe to the top of their lungs. These two types of machines are nothing alike. Invasive ventilators start at about $35,000. A BiPAP machine runs a couple $100, and you can buy them on Amazon any day of the week. So, although Musk received non-stop positive news stories about how he was saving the world by supplying 1,200 ventilators, the machines he supplied were not ones that were needed, and his alleged prototype running in the YouTube video was apparently never sent to production, because try as we might, we cannot find a single photo of an invasive ventilator built by Tesla or Musk except from that video. In contrast, the vacuum billionaire Sir James Dyson designed a brand new ventilator in 10 days, and the British government quickly placed an order for 10,000 units. Those pictures are easy to find, even though thankfully in the end Britain was far less affected than the US was. When the 2016 sale of SolarCity to Tesla was concluded, the shareholders of SolarCity split the price tag that ranged from $2.6 to $2.8 billion, depending on who's reporting, and the numbers must not have been very easy to track. This article shows the offer at $2.6 billion, and this article shows the deal worth $2.8 billion. Not only were both articles posted on Reuters news service, they were both co-authored by Paul Lieber. But it was never $2.something billion deal, because part of the acquisition was Tesla's assumption of SolarCity's debt, and according to the Buffalo News, that number was $3.4 billion on top of the purchase price. Musk, as a 22.2% owner of the company at the time, would have personally pocketed up to